Oh, I know where I was attempting to go with that last one and never finished the thought or the loop of, it's like I started to think, right? It's like I was inspired to do X, Y, and Z, and I would go do it. And then I would start to think. So it's like I got inspired to do the podcast, right? And share all this stuff. And it was scary and it's weird how it's coming through. And I understand how others can see it as like a wackadoodle and all types of things. I mean, at times I feel the same way. And that's just my ego getting in the way, right? And then I would think like, oh, well, let's go do this with it, or let's go do that with it. And I would get in my own way in a way to soothe my ego out of that embarrassment or out of whatever, and would want to do X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, and Z would just not work out. So it's that idea of like, it feels like the universe is like, whatever you want. And I go to do whatever I want. And they're like, oh, no, no, no. And so we have to, we have to be true and honest with ourselves, right? And so, like I said, the outside of me, those around me have not encouraged me or offered to collaborate or any of these things. And so it has been hard to be like, at some point you do just think, well, don't you just give up, or don't you just whatever? And so it's that idea of the sports analogy again is, I guess, knowing when to pivot and when not to can be a challenge for a lot of us. And at the same time, I don't know that there's so much say that we have, as long as your heart's in the right place and you want to feel good, sometimes you just get swept into things, even though it feels like you're battling yourself in that you're trying so hard, and you think to jump and you don't get to jump, or but in other words, if you're still trying, like you're still going up to bat, and after a while, you're like, okay, I think maybe baseball's not for me because I've gone up to bat so many times. And so I think you're trying to pivot me. And so you go to do something else. And next thing you know, you're right up to bat again. And you're like, are you either going to have to make me really good at this, or you're going to have to release me from this? Like, what's up? What am I not seeing? I've taken lessons. I've done this. I've done that. I can't seem to get better at this game. And yet you won't let me leave the game. And I'm putting in all my might and effort. Like, what's and so sometimes you just have to trust and believe and let go, even though everything outside of you is saying, you're really not good at baseball. You really should consider something else. And sometimes it is truth, but it's like not time for that truth. In other words, it's almost like the universe sometimes will put us in that place where it's like that same analogy, but technically it was just a waiting thing. Like, you know what? They're totally not good at baseball. That's not actually what they're going to do. But I'm just going to have them do that, and just don't let them leave. Don't let them try. Just keep pivoting them back here, because there's actually going to be this person who's going to show up at that game one day and is going to totally redirect them, and they're going to take their hand and lead them in the correct right direction. But they're only going to meet there. So suck it up, buttercup. Be embarrassed that you suck at that game, because it's going to lead you to where you want to go. So, and the whole point of this is like, who knows that rigmarole, right? We don't get a blueprint always. We don't get a map, and we don't get that understanding. So it is letting go, trusting and believing, and not gripping so tightly with our mind, right? Trying to think our way out of it. Oh, God bless you, right? Like, I've been in those mental prisons and continue to be trapped in those mental prisons plenty of times, where we have a hard time letting go, which is kind of funny. But it's like, what? It's funny in that, like, we don't want to feel, we don't want to experience. We say we do, and yet we don't trust ourselves to feel it or be able to handle what we're feeling, right? Like, it's this idea where we have to trust ourselves, our higher selves, the universe, the God within, to be like, it's okay, I got you. And you want it to come, you want it to experience, you want it to feel. So why are you resisting it? Why are you resisting the thing you want? And yet we do all the time. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.